We're now going to move on to item number 36, which is a resolution proclaiming the week of October 22nd through October 28th, 2023 as Childhood Lead Poisoning Prevention Week in San Luis Obispo County. And we'd ask Regina Sampson to come forward to the podium, and Supervisor Ortiz-Legg will be doing the honors.
Well, thank you very much. And I will just start by recognizing that the following resolution is hereby offered and read, that whereas the County of San Luis Obispo recognizes the importance of healthy homes and a safe environment for all our children and families, and whereas an important part of ensuring a safe environment is preventing San Luis Obispo County children from being poisoned by lead in their homes or community, and whereas lead poisoning tends to have few or no early visible symptoms and often goes undetected. Whereas lead poisoning can have devastating effects, especially for children, ranging from cognitive and behavioral disorders to delays in growth and learning disabilities. And whereas San Luis Obispo County children may be exposed to lead from deteriorated lead-based paint, contaminated drinking water, contaminated soil, and from other sources such as during lead service line replacement, lead brought home from the workplace, various consumer products, and historic environmental contamination. And whereas to keep the county's children safe and healthy, all children under the age of 6 should be assessed for lead exposure. At-risk children should receive blood tests for lead, and lead hazards must be identified and removed from a child's environment. And whereas lead poisoning is preventable through greater awareness of many sources of lead, using lead-safe work practices when disturbing lead-based paint, and ensuring that children have a healthy diet and access to health care. And whereas the state of California has recognized that children are harmed by even low levels of lead and has enabled the San Luis Obispo County's Childhood Lead Poisoning Prevention Program to offer services to these children. And whereas San Luis Obispo County's Childhood Lead Poisoning Prevention Program has been working effectively since 1993 to reduce the number of lead-poisoned children in San Luis Obispo County through outreach, education, and early intervention. And whereas some of the nearly 1,500 San Luis Obispo children screened each year are still exposed to the dangers of lead, now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors, County of San Luis Obispo, State of California, does hereby proclaim October 22nd to 28th, 2023 as Childhood Lead Poisoning Prevention Week to increase awareness and prevention of lead poisoning and to advance the elimination of lead from homes, consumer products, and the environment. Protect your family from all sources of lead, air pollution, including aircraft and shooting ranges included. There we go.
All right.
Good morning. On behalf of the Childhood Lead Poisoning Prevention Program, I would like to thank the Board of Supervisors for accepting the resolution proclaiming the week of October 22 through the 28th as the Lead Poisoning Prevention Week for the County of San Luis Obispo. I am Regina Sampson, Supervising Public Health Nurse for the county, and I am also the coordinator for the Childhood Lead Poisoning Prevention Program for our county. I wanted to share with you that this year marks the 30th anniversary of this program in our county. So for 30 years, we have been providing services to the community for the purpose of increasing awareness of lead hazard exposures and increasing the number of children assessed and blood tested for lead poisoning. The public health nurses, along with environmental health professionals, have been providing case management services, home investigations, community outreaches. Lead Poisoning Prevention Week is being observed throughout the nation during the week of October 22 through the 28th, and the campaign message this year is protect your family from all sources of lead air pollution. Lead can damage a child's brain and nervous system. Lead exposure is especially dangerous for children under the age of 6 because of their rapidly growing and developing bodies. They absorb more lead more than the adults. It can cause permanent learning and behavioral problems and make it difficult for children to succeed in school. And most children with lead poisoning do not look or act sick, and the only way to tell if a child has lead poisoning is through blood lead testing. So during Lead Week, we will take the opportunity to conduct a county-wide outreach to inform parents of at-risk children the importance of blood lead testing. And then also during Lead Week, the California Department of Public Health will be hosting a series of free webinars about lead air pollution and how to prevent exposure. So for more information about the webinars, please visit the CDPH website and type Lead Week 2023 on the search bar. Thank you so much.
Okay. Supervisors, let's see if there's any additional public comment. Seeing none, we'll close that, bring it back to the board. Supervisor Gibson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a fundamentally important bit of public health work aimed at our most vulnerable. It's been an issue for a long time. It's certainly one that our First Five Commission, which focuses on children 0 to 5, is keenly aware of and very supportive of, and I want to thank all that are involved in doing the outreach, doing the education, and keeping this moving forward, because there's a ways to go yet, and we'll wish you well in getting there.
Supervisor Ortiz-Lake.
Yes, as a mother, you know, we always, all children matter, and we really appreciate your work. I'm curious as to the outreach within the Mixteco community in the language. I think that probably under the Public Health Department, because we have the Mixteco translation services now sometimes available, are you able to utilize that? Yeah, good. They're shaking their head, yes. That's good, because that's certainly a population that health and well-being is a little bit more challenging as far as outreach. When you're speaking a language that's not Spanish or English, that really becomes a challenge. And I think that, again, Cuesta College just did a health survey with indigenous non-speaking Spanish folks here in the county, and there's some illuminating information from that. So thank you for all that you're doing.
And I'll just add, as we wrap this up, that if you have children under the age of 6, they should be assessed for lead exposure, and at-risk children should receive blood tests for lead and lead hazards. They must be identified and removed from those child's lives. So thank you for all you do in bringing this to attention to our community. Okay. Any additional thoughts? We are going to then close this item and moving on now to public comment.